Remember the last session we discussed about non-cooperation movement and the idea of Swaraj, and how different people give the meaning for the term Swaraj, self-governance, independence. Okay, so we know that for the plantation workers in the plantation, I mean basically the tea plantations in Assam, basically for them, they wanted to keep connection with their villages. Okay, related with the Inland Immigration Act of 1859, just to mark that particular year in your textbook. What is that Inland Immigration Act? What is the Inland Immigration Act? As per the act, the plantation workers are rarely given permission to go to their own villages or keep a connection with their family in the villages. Clear? So there is no freedom for them. So they heard about this non-cooperation movement, and they give a meaning for that word Swaraj. What is that? Freedom. Clear or not? They can keep a connection with their villages. Clear? And when the Gandhi Raj comes, or the rule of Gandhi or independence come, they all will get land in their own villages. They thought like that. Okay. So when they heard about this idea of non-cooperation, most of them, they left their plantations and moved to their own villages. But what happened? They are trapped. Okay, because of the steamer strike, because of the railway strike, they are unable to manage to reach their villages there, right? So what happened next? The police caught them, then they punished brutally. Clear or not? That's what happened related with the plantation workers. So plantation workers also participated in the national movement, in the non-cooperation movement. Okay, clear? But they give a different meaning for the term Swaraj. What did they give? Okay, they will get a land in their own villages and they are free to move from the plantation to the places where they from actually. Okay, so that kind of things we discussed earlier. So far we discussed about how the non-cooperation movement started in the towns, right, we discussed that. Hope you know that answer well, right or not? Do you know or not how the non-cooperation movement started in the cities or in the towns there? We know that already. Gandhiji's idea, the non-cooperation movement will unfold in stages. Okay, so the first stage is related with what? Related with what? The towns. Clear or not? And the second stage, okay, what is that? First stage in the relative with the towns, they give up, or basically the people, those who received laurels and awards from the British, they give that back. The boycotting. Okay, they started boycotting the schools and colleges. Lawyers started boycotting the law courts, like that in various stages we observed earlier. Okay, next, how the non-cooperation movement gradually declined in the towns. How the non-cooperation movement gradually declined in the towns. Do you know that answer? Yes or no? Okay. Because of the khadi clothes. Okay, so basically we know that the Indians started boycotting the clothes that made by the British mills there. All right. Okay, but they cannot do that for a long time of period. Okay, they couldn't. Then don't manage. They failed to manage that because the price of that commodities or the goods comparatively cheaper than the Indian khadi. Clear? So that's kind of things we already discussed there, and how the plantation workers participated in the national movement, and how the peasants or farmers participated in that movement, right? How the Kisan Sabha, and the tribal movement in the Godam Hills of Andhra Pradesh. Discuss that or not? Is or not? Tell me. How the tribal people participate in the national movement? Who are the leader of the
Yes, sir.
tribals? Name the leader of the tribals. Who is that? Hmm? You wrote the name in your notes? Did you? Did you write it or not?
Alluri Sridharamaraju.
Right. Alluri Siddharamaraju. Okay. Is he the believer of non-violence? Alluri Siddharamaraju?
No.
No. Okay. What the comment that made by Ludicida Ramaraju? Okay, Gandhism and Gandhian principles are good, but the idea of non-violence is not sufficient to get what? Independence. Okay. So he believed in the act of force. Act of force. Clear. So far, these many things we discussed in the previous classes. Now, here it is. And the movement among the tribals, we discussed Swaraj in the plantations, completed that. Next one, what happened to the non-cooperation movement? Okay, so a conclusion related with the non-cooperation movement, not for the entire chapter. Okay, clear or not? Okay, so the result of a non-cooperation movement. The visions of these movements were not defined by the Congress program. They interpreted the term Swaraj in their own ways, imagining it to be a time when all suffering and all troubles would be over. So, the people, those who participated in the non-cooperation movement, they gave different meaning for the term Swaraj. Why they gave the different meaning for the term Swaraj? They wanted to escape from the problems that are created by the Britishers. Okay. The wishes of the movements were not defined by the Congress program. As per the Congress program, the movement it should be in a non-violent way. But in numerous cases, we find that the movement that turned into a violent one, violent one. In the case of the tribals, in the case of the, what we can say, the peasants, okay, the movement turned into a violent one. They interpreted the term Swaraj, the different groups of people or different social groups, they give different meaning for the term Swaraj. Okay, in their own ways, imagining it to be a time when all suffering and all troubles would be over. And almost all these people believed that a time will come. Okay, at that time, all sufferings and all troubles would be over. That's what they believed. Okay, clear? So that's a first point related with the conclusion of the non-cooperation movement. Second one, yet when the tribal chanted Gandhiji's name, they started chanting, repeatedly speaking, repeatedly saying Gandhiji's name and raised slogans demanding Swatantra Bharat. Okay, so almost all the different groups of people, they continuously started chanting the name of Gandhi, Gandhi, Gandhi. Okay, that's what their dream, their ambition. What is that? Okay, want to get independence through Gandhi. And raised the slogans, okay, demanding Sudandra Bharat, independent India. They were also emotionally relating to an all India agitation. So almost all the different groups of people in India, they accepted the idea of Gandhian method of struggle or fight against the Britishers. I mean the non-violence, right? And everywhere in India, almost all the different groups of people they started participating in the the national movement, by chanting the name of Gandhi or slogans that demanding the Swadhantra Bharat, the independent India. Okay, third point. When they acted in the name of Mahatma Gandhi or linked their movement to that of the Congress, they were identifying with a movement which went beyond the limit of their immediate locality. Okay, so whenever the local people connecting their movement or their activities to get freedom to the national movement, okay, that movement that already we can see here that passing beyond the limits of their immediate location. So almost all these people are trying to participate in the nationwide movement. Might they are doing an activity in their locality, but their activity is basically connected with the nationwide movement to get independence. Independence. Is that clear? Is that clear or not? So people they are doing some activities in their location, but actually they are cooperating with the national movement in a nationwide manner. Is that idea clear? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Okay, if it is no, tell me please. I will explain it again. So this is the conclusion. Basically, we can say that there are number of people from different social groups. They participated in the non-cooperation movement. We already discussed about how the teachers, how the headmasters, how the students, how the lawyers participated in that movement. Okay, clear or not? Okay, and what happened? what happened at the time of this non-cooperation movement in the cities. Okay, they started boycotting the council election, they started boycotting the foreign clothes that made by the British mills there. Okay, and they give back the laurels or awards that received by the Indians. Okay, clear or not? Give back to whom? The British. Okay. Okay, definitely I will show that, Rifa. Wait a minute. Okay, so that's what happened in the towns there. Then we witnessed that, we observed that, we witnessed in the sensor, we read from the textbook that, okay, the movement slowly slow down in the cities there because of various reasons. Reasons. The Indians failed to establish institutions that helping the Indian teachers and administrators. Okay, or there is no schools and colleges for Indians, right or not? Or Indian students or Indian teachers or headmasters to join and work. There is no course for the Indian lawyers to join with. Okay, so what happened? Gradually, the movement slow down in the cities there. Next, we discussed about how the plantation workers participated in the non-cooperation movement. Even before the non-cooperation movement, Jawaharlal Nehru and Baba Ramchandra, they started an organization in Uttar Pradesh, basically in Aud Kisan Sabha, clear or not? Okay, so that people also participated in the non-cooperation movement, but they gave a different meaning for the term Swaraj. What is that? They want to freedom from the taluksdar. They want freedom from the landlords. Okay, clear or not? Finally, we observe that that movement that turned into a violent one because the landlords were looted by the peasants. Their hoardings were taken away by the peasants. So Gandhiji tried to call off that movement. Okay, fine. So here it is. Rifa, everyone, please observe the conclusion points there. If you want to write down, it is mandatory. Now, if here you have to, okay, just do it. So far, we discussed about the non-cooperation movement, and write down Gandhiji called off this non-cooperation movement in the year 1922. 1922. Clear or not? Write down Gandhiji called off the non-cooperation in 1922 due to or related with okay, the Chauri Chaura incident. Chauri Chaura incident. Another map pointing question for you people. Marking Chauri Chaura. Okay, Chauri Chaura. Chauri Chaura. You can see that in your textbook. Okay, Chauri Chaura. Just mark that. So in Chauri Chaura, there was a clash between the police and the local people. Okay, the British police and the local people. In that incident, the local people burned the police station and killed nearly 22 policemen. Okay, clear or not? So Gandhiji's idea of a non-violent movement, then, sorry, that turned into a extremely violent one. So Gandhi called off, he stopped the movement in the year 1922. So mark that in your textbook. And that place in Uttar Pradesh, Chauri Chaura, it's an important one for the map pointing one. Chauri Chaura. So examination, you know that there is map pointing questions, compulsory question for we people, and there is a 2 mark question from history, that is from this chapter alone. Okay, nationalism in India. So mark Chauri Chaura, Uttar Pradesh. Okay, mark that in your textbook. Next one, it is the civil disobedience movement. Okay, so just mark Chauri Chaura. Completed. You got that? Okay. Now, next movement. So we already know that this movement, that non-cooperation, it was not that much successful. Clear or not? Because of various reasons. Finally, we know that Gandhiji called off this movement because that non-violent movement that turned into a violent movement, and went out of the control of the Congress party and Mahatma Gandhi. So officially, Mahatma Gandhi called off or stopped that movement in the year 1922. 1922. Clear? Okay. So, and in 1930s, he started a new movement, a new mass movement against the British, basically termed as the civil disobedience movement. What is that? Civil disobedience movement. Do you know what is disobedience? First of all, you have to ask it. You want to answer the question. What is
not
obedience?
to obey.
Not obeying. Obeying, okay. Obedience means we know that obeying the rules and regulations. So we know that there are number of rules and regulations are there. Every day we are accepting and we are acting as per that in the country, right? Number of rules and regulations are there. If you are breaking the rules or regulations, what will happen?
Will be punished by the court.
Definitely. Okay. Punishment will be there for such kind of activities. You are breaking the law, definitely will get punishment. So now Gandhi's next idea. So at the time of non-cooperation, Gandhi commented, what is that? Without the cooperation of Indians, without the cooperation of Indians, the British people, they are unable to rule. Okay, within 1 year, within a short time of period, the British government will fall down, it seems. That's what the comment that made by Gandhi at the time of non-cooperation. Now Gandhi's idea is nothing but civil disobedience. The rules and regulations that made by the British is now Gandhi and the Congress party and the entire people in the country is going to break that. Okay, going to break it, because that government is not the Indian government. The Britishers are not the people those are able to make rules and regulations for the Indians there, because they are from another country. We don't want to follow their rules and regulations. Okay, that's what the idea of Gandhi. So we are discussing now the steps towards civil disobedience, breaking the rules and laws that made by the Britishers. Okay, so here you can see why the non-cooperation movement is completed or stopped by Gandhi. In February 1922, Gandhiji withdrew the non-cooperation movement. He felt that current satyagrahis were improperly trained and hence turned violent in many places. So write down the question. Write down the question. Okay, write the reason for the end of non-cooperation movement, or why Mahatma Gandhi called off non-cooperation movement in 1922. In 1922, right now. Why Mahatma Gandhi called off the non-cooperation movement in the year 1922? Okay, here it is. In February 1922, Gandhi withdrew the non-cooperation movement. He felt the current satyagrahis, the satyagrahis or the members of the non-cooperation movement, they weren't properly trained. There's no proper training for them. They don't know the idea of satyagraha and non-violent. Okay, that was the feeling of Gandhi. Okay, Gandhi felt the satyagrahis or the members, those who are participating in the non-cooperation movement, they are or they were not properly trained. Okay, and hence turned violent in many places. So that non-cooperation movement, okay, that turned into violent movement in many places, okay, because the satyagrahis or the members of that particular movement, they were not got proper training. They don't know the real meaning of the term satyagraha, and they give different meaning for the term swaraj. Okay, so Gandhi felt that very bad too. Within the Congress, some leaders were by now tired of mass struggle and wanted to participate in election. They felt that it was important to oppose British policies within the councils, argue for reform, and also demonstrate that these councils were not truly democratic. Okay, next one. What is that? Within the Congress Party at that time in 1922, some leaders of the Congress Party were by now tired of mass struggles and wanted to participate in a election. They are tired of mass struggles. They don't want this kind of movement. Okay, a long period they did number of things to get independence. Okay, now almost all the leaders also. Now we want to remember one thing. It is Gandhi who convinced these leaders to participate in the non-cooperation movement. But now all these leaders were tired. They are not ready to participate in the non-cooperation movement. Instead of that, they want to participate in the elections, it seems there. Okay, already we know that as a first stage of this non-cooperation movement, the Indian National Congress leaders, they boycotted the council election. But there's some leaders saying now they have to participate in the council election. They felt that it was important to oppose British policies. Okay, so number of international Congress leaders, they felt it is very important to oppose the activities of the Britishers or their policies. Okay, within the councils, their belief is that they wanted to be a part of that council, then only they are able to oppose the policies of the Britishers. Clear or not? From outside that cannot do anything. They want to enter into that local governments, okay, or a council election. They have to participate, then only they are able to participate, or they become the members of the councils, then only they are able to oppose the British policies. Okay, so they argue for reform and also demonstrate that these councils were not truly democratic. Okay, so almost all the Indian national leaders, okay, they told it to Gandhi, they commented that they want to participate in the council election, so they are able to oppose the British policies within the councils, and they can show that this council is not truly democratic. The councils are not good, it seems. Okay, C.R. Das and the Motilal Nehru. Okay, Motilal Nehru. Do you know who is Motilal Nehru? Motilal Nehru,
Father of Jawaharlal Nehru.
father of Jawaharlal Nehru. Okay, so these two people, C.R. Das and Motilal Nehru, formed the Swaraj party within the Congress to argue for return to council politics. Okay, so two leaders of Congress of that time, C.R. Das and Motilal Nehru, formed a separate party called Swaraj Party. What is the name of the party? Swaraj Party. But it is not a separate party. This party also within the Congress. Okay, and argue for return to council election. So already Congress boycotted the council election, but C.R. Das and Motilal Nehru formed a new faction or a new party or a new group within the Congress, and they started arguing for going back and join in the council elections or council politics. Clear or not? You got that points? All these points are clear or not? Now write down fast. So moving forward. Next one. In such a situation, two factors shaped the Indian politics in the 1920s. Okay, so listen. The basic reasons we already discussed. Okay, why Mahatma Gandhi called off the the non-cooperation movement, The same time, there are a number of other incidents also happened in 1920s that paved a way for civil disobedience movement in 1930s. Okay, so after 1922, there are a series of political events that happened in India. Okay, you can see here the effect of worldwide economic depression. So remember the meaning of this term, worldwide economic depression. Do you know what is that? Economic depression. Number of industries closed, a number of workers, they lost their job. Okay, and there's a situation, people are struggling to get a job or an earning. Okay, there is no money with the people. Economic depression, the situation where there is no money with the people and they are struggling. Not only the workers, even the rich people also struggle. They are harder to make an earning, okay, or income. Clear? That's what economic hardship or economic depression. Okay, In the 1930s, as the demand for agricultural goods fell, okay, demand for agricultural goods reduced and exports declined. There was no exports too. It is also reduced. Peasants found it difficult to sell their harvest and pay their revenue. By 1930s, the countryside was in a turmoil, in a great trouble there. Okay, and unrest. Okay, what happened there? Due to the worldwide economic depression, the demand for agricultural products that reduced, and export of these agricultural produce also reduced. So farmers faced a problem. There is no money with the farmers. Okay, they are unable to sell their products. They sell their harvest. There is nobody is there to purchase the products. Okay, so what happened there? They are unable to pay their revenue. They are unable to pay the rent to their landlords. They're unable to pay the revenue to the taluksdars. Okay, so there's a widespread problem in the villages in India. The new Tory government of Britain, okay, newly elected government of Britain, constituted a statutory commission. Okay, so the new government, new elected government of Britain, they made a legally valuable or a legally permitted commission. Okay, a group of people commission a group of people to inquire about something or find something. Okay, that's what a commission. Okay, so which contained no Indian member under Sir John Simon. So what happened there? Okay, a new government in Britain, they appointed a commission with the leadership of Sir John Simon. Sir John Simon. Okay, and the specialty is nothing but there is no Indian members in that council. There is no Indian member. Look into the functioning of the constitutional system in India and the suggested changes. So why this commission? The commission was appointed by the British government to observe how the constitution is working in India. I mean, the British administration is functioning in India and what changes wanted to make in the administration of India and what the Indians really need. Okay, that's what the reason for appointing that commission. Okay, but when Simon Commission arrived in India in 1928, it greeted with a slogan, "Go back, Simon," or "Simon, go back." Okay, so the newly elected government of Britain, they appointed a commission, okay, under the leadership of Sir John Simon without any Indian member to find out how the administration in India is going on and to make a new constitution for India and a new administrative system for India. Okay, but the specialty is what is that? There is no Indian member in that council. All are English people. All are English people. Okay, so Indians are not interested to welcome such a commission to make a new constitution for India. Okay, clear? Because there were no Indian members, no Indian members. So almost all the political parties, they gathered when the Simon Commission arrived. They greeted Simon Commission with the slogan, "Go back, Simon. Go back, Simon." Okay, clear or not? Okay, write down these points. There's no questions. Write down these points related with the Simon Commission. So you can write what is the Simon Commission and why Indians are not accepted the Simon Commission. What is the reason why Indians are not accepted the Simon Commission or greeted the Simon Commission with the slogan, "Go back,
Because
Simon"?
there was not even a Indian.
There was no Indian member. There were no Indian member in that council. So Indians are rejected and they boycotted the Simon Commission with the slogan, "Go back, Simon. Go back, Simon." Clear? Write down that. Write down. All of you write down these points first.
Sir, question.
Okay. What are the two factors shaped the Indian politics in the 1920s? What are the two factors shaped the Indian politics in 1920s?
Sir, can you repeat those?
Question is in the slide itself. What are the two factors shaped the Indian politics in the 1920s? The 1920s. 1920s. Write down. Okay, yes, moving forward, see here. Okay, so we know that in that Simon, dealt with the Simon Commission, Indian members boycotted, or Indian political parties boycotted that Simon Commission. All the major Indian parties had took part, right? PR took part in the demonstration against the Simon Commission. In an effort to win them over, the Viceroy, Lord Irwin, okay, Viceroy, the British administrator in India, okay, the chief British administrator or administrative officer in India, termed as Viceroy. His name is Lord Irwin at that time in 1928. Okay, announced in October 1929 a vague offer of dominion status. So, right on a vague offer of a dominion status for India in an unspecified future and a round table conference to discuss a future constitution. Okay, next point we will discuss one by one. This did not satisfy the Congress leaders. The radicals within the Congress become more assertive. Okay, next point. In December 1929, under the presidency of Jawaharlal Nehru, the Lahore Congress formalized the demand for Purna Swaraj or full independence for India. It was declared that 26th January 1930 would be celebrated as the Independence Day when people were to take a pledge to struggle for complete independence. Okay, next point. But this attracted very little attention. So Mahatma Gandhi decided to relate the idea of freedom to more concrete issues of everyday life. Okay, so finally, these political events that led to the civil disobedience movement. So write down all these points. I will give you 5 minutes. Just do that. Again, I will explain it again. Come on fast. Okay, all of you. So these are the basic political events that led to the civil disobedience movement in India. Okay, in 1930s, in 1930. So all these points, just to read it, up to point number 3, we discuss in the classroom, and point 4, 5, 6, 7, we will discuss in the next class. Okay, hope everyone completed the notes there. At the same time, just send me your notes. Let me check that whether all these things are there or not, you are following or not. Okay, let me take the attendance. 1 minute.